Hola, buenos dias a todos. Hello. Good morning again to everyone. This is Julio, your Spanish teacher for the Spanish language conversational course. Today, we're going to talk about useful verbs in Espanol. In the verbs we're going to learn, please take note all the patterns that we can recognize or get, how infinitives are being conjugated based on the subject of the sentence, as we will show later on a table with a present tense conjugated verbs in its different forms. And usually first person ends with O, second person ends with ES or AS, third person ends with E or A, and I just forgot to put the plural of third person, but it usually ends with N. And for collective or mixed group, this is we or we in English, or nosotros in Espanol. It ends with hemos, aimos, or imos, or amos. To make the verb continuous like ing in English, general rule of thumb is omitting the AR, ER, IR in Spanish verb and replace it with ando if it's AR verb or yendo if it's ER or IR verb. For example, we have to buy, that's comprar. To make it progressive or continuous, just put ando in replace to the AR. It becomes comprando. Okay? And this doesn't work on gerund, okay? Or verbs that speaks about the possibility. Okay? It is only for continuous form. Then here's the chart or table with the conjugated forms of different useful verbs in Espanol. In present tense, we have English, column. We have regular Spanish, first person, I or yo, second person, tú, third person singular, he, she, they, and since there is no plural third person here, I will just read it to you. And we have mixed group, we, that is nosotros. To learn, this is aprender, aprendo, aprendes, aprende, aprenden, aprendimos. To help, ayudar, ayudo, ayudas, ayuda, ayudan, ayudamos. To know, conocer, conozco, conoces, conoce, conocen, conocemos. And by the way, the blue or highlighted blue verbs here, it means they are irregular verbs. Irregular verbs means they don't follow the usual pattern of conjugation. That's why sometimes the ending is different, like doy, empiezo, conozco. Sometimes it doesn't have the same spelling. There are some changes. So that's the irregular. Okay, so be careful of that. And then to continue, to believe, creer, creo, crees, cree, creen, creemos. To give, dar, doy, das, da, dan, damos. To start, empezar, empiezo, empiezas, empieza, empiezan, empiezamos. Entonces, we'll also read the examples of this verbs, how it is used in a sentence. ¿Puedes ayudarme a aprender el idioma español, por favor? ¿Puedes ayudarme a aprender el idioma español, por favor? Creo que conoces cómo reparar una máquina. Creo que conoces cómo reparar una máquina. La iglesia está ayudando a gente pobre empezando ahora. La iglesia está ayudando a gente pobre empezando ahora. To teach, enseñar, enseño, enseñas, enseña, enseñan, enseñamos. And again, the spelling here in enseñamos, it's not I, it must be E. So pardon me for that. Let's continue to study. Estudiar, estudio, estudias, estudia, estudian, estudiamos. To like, gustar, me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, nos gusta. To do, hacer, hago, haces, hace, hacen, hacemos. To go, ir, voy, vas, va, van, vamos. To need, necesitar, necesito, necesitas, necesita, necesitamos. Entonces, el maestro está estudiando las lecciones que tiene. El maestro está estudiando las lecciones que tiene. ¿Te gusta hacer lecciones de Biblia y enseñar? ¿Te gusta hacer lecciones de Biblia y enseñar? Necesitamos ir a la escuela y participar. Necesitamos ir a la escuela y participar. Entonces, to put, poner, pongo, pones, pone, ponen, ponemos. To finish, terminar, termino, terminas, termina, terminamos. To take, tomar, tomo, tomas, toma, tomamos. To say, decir, digo, decis, deci, decin, decimos. To prefer, preferir, prefiero, prefieres, prefiere, preferimos. To read, leer, leo, lees, lee, leen, leemos. Entonces, ellos terminaron de poner todas las comidas en la mesa. Sometimes I forgot to again read the third person plural, but again, it's just the same with third person singular. All you need to do is add n at the ending, like this. Ellos terminaron de poner todas las comidas en la mesa. Necesito tomar cursos para decir algo. Necesito tomar cursos para decir algo. ¿Prefieres leer el libro entero hoy? ¿Prefieres leer el libro entero hoy? Entonces, we have to see, ver, veo, ves, ve, ven, vemos. To work, trabajar, trabajo, trabajas, trabaja, trabajan, trabajamos. To wait, esperar, espero, esperas, espera, esperan, esperamos. To pay, pagar, pago, pagas, pague, paguen, pagamos. To use, usar, oso, osas, osa or osan, osamos. To search, buscar, busco, buscas, busca, buscan, buscamos. Using it in a sentence, los vemos tomando la iniciativa trabajando en el proyecto. Los vemos tomando la iniciativa trabajando en el proyecto. La gente de las Filipinas necesita pagar los impuestos. La gente de las Filipinas necesita pagar los impuestos. Ellos usan la internet para buscar por las respuestas. Ellos usan la internet para buscar por las respuestas. Then this is the present chart or table of regular verb conjugation. Notice here that aside from nosotros, we also have vosotros here. So vosotros, this is the informal you all, and specifically used in Spain. So you notice that previously we don't sometimes mention it, but this is also important if your plan is to go to Spain. So that's why I included here. So vosotros again is an informal of you all, and it is used to speak to anyone that is a little inferior or a little close with you. Okay, so let's read and check the pattern here. Yo hablo, como, escribo, tú hablas, comes, escribes, él, ella, usted habla, come, escribe, nosotros, nosotras hablamos, comemos, escribimos, vosotros, you all informal, or vosotras hablaes, comeis, escribís. Notice the accent mark on the vosotros conjugation. Usually, if the verb being conjugated is in AR, the accent mark is usually in prior IS. The same thing with ER. But if it's IR verb, the accent mark must be on I. Okay, be familiar with that pattern and always practice by your own. Then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes. This is the third person plural. Hablan, comen, escriben. We also have past regular verb conjugation. Yo hablé, come, escribe. Notice the accent mark on the last letter. We can recognize if a verb is in past first person if there's an accent mark, particularly if it is not O but E or I. Then tú, hablaste, comeste, escribiste, él, ella, usted habló, comió, escribió, nosotros, nosotras hablamos, comemos, escribimos, vosotros, vosotras hablasteis, comestiis, escribisteis, ellos, ellas, ustedes hablaron, comieron, escribieron. Then, of course, also future of regular verb conjugation. There's also accent mark, but the construction is different. We have yo, hablare, comere, escribire, tú, hablaras, comerás, escribirás, él, ella, usted hablará, comerá, escribirá, nosotros, nosotras hablaremos, comeremos, escribiremos, vosotros, vosotras hablaréis, comeréis, escribiréis, ellos, ellas, ustedes hablarán, comerán, escribirán. So, study that with your own and master as you progress. And for the activities on this part, from your own words list in Espanol, make 2 sentences on each useful verbs you have learned, highlighting each verb, total of 48 sentences. So you can just put a highlight mark or a underline on the verbs you use. Por ejemplo, necesito tomar cursos para decir algo. And then, after that, you need to record yourself reading the words you've provided twice. I mean, twice only here, because it's a lot. So that's all. I hope you learn a lot of things from this. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos. Adios.